And we're joined now by the chairman of the Republican Party, Reince Priebus. Mr. Chairman, welcome back. Donald Trump is suddenly going into Minnesota and Michigan. Those are Democratic states, basically. What do you see there?
Well, we see probably the same things that the Clinton campaign sees, and we go into these states with consumer data, voter data, and we go in with a 3,000 person sample. I'm sure they do similar things, and we're seeing a dead heat. In fact, we're seeing that all over the country. You're seeing it in Pennsylvania, seeing it in Colorado. There's a lot of surprises here in the end. I was surprised myself. Last night, we pulled ahead of the Democrats in vote count in Colorado, the actual vote count itself, by 1,700 ballots. Now, it's not a lot, but it's also, I think, a little bit of a surprise to everyone involved that Donald Trump is closing, and he's got the momentum going into Tuesday.
One of the things that happens sometimes late in these presidential races is campaigns see a state and they think it looks good, but those states are traditional Democratic states for a reason. They've got a kind of an electorate there that sets up well for the Democrat. And so time is spent. This happened to Mitt Romney in Pennsylvania. Time is spent at the end. Right. The Democrats match it. And it's time that's wasted in a state that maybe he should be spending his time somewhere else.
Well, look, he's also, he's a different kind of candidate, too. And it's a different day and it's a different year. I mean, I don't think anyone can say that 2016 has been normal. It's been a wild political year. Yeah. And we've got a candidate that appeals to a lot of voters that haven't engaged in a long time, and he actually appeals to a lot of folks in the Midwest. I'm from Wisconsin. I know what it's like to lose factories where I grew up, and that's the way people feel in Michigan, and he gives those people hope. And the other piece of this is that, you know, Hillary Clinton's got a heck of a bad narrative cooking up here for the last 10 days, and it's plaguing her campaign.
Let me ask you, though, if Michigan and the Midwest was such a place that works well for Donald Trump, why not spend more time in Michigan and Minnesota? Why not a more concerted effort there than Nevada, Colorado, which are less likely for Trump?
Let me just hit that point real quick, though. I mean, on the ground, in the operation, when it comes to get out the vote efforts, voter identification, absentee balloting, we have massive organizations in Michigan and Wisconsin, probably the two best political parties. Ohio's really good. Now I'm going to offend some state chairmen, but these are two very good.
Wisconsin again.
Yeah, they're very good operations that we've spent millions and millions of dollars in. You're also seeing it tightening in all the Senate races, and we believe that a Pennsylvania, a Michigan, a Wisconsin could quickly move on to our board.
You mentioned Donald Trump's a different kind of candidate, appealing to different kinds of voters. He is also, from the early vote we can see in Nevada and Florida, he is also driving away the kinds of voters you were talked about attracting after the last 2012 election. Latino voters in Florida and Nevada seem to be coming out very heavily for Hillary Clinton. What do you make of that?
Well, you don't know exactly how they're voting, but you can obviously look at the data and see that it's happening, that they're turning up.
Do you think Donald Trump will do better with Latinos than Mitt Romney?
I think he's going to do better than people think. I don't know what the total is going to be, but let's just look at the numbers real quick in Florida. In Florida today, we are 7,000 ballots down, but 4 years ago we were 104,000 ballots down. So all this stuff, there's great anecdotes, and everyone, not accusing you, but the Clinton campaign in particular can cherry pick all they want. We're ahead in early vote from where we were by a mile 4 years ago. Look at North Carolina. We're ahead by over 100,000 votes in North Carolina from where we were 4 years ago. We were down by 455,000 ballots 4 years ago. We won North Carolina.
Let me ask you this before people get lost in the numbers on the question of the Latino vote. It used to be seen by a number of Republicans as something the party had to do to catch up with the future of the country as the Latino vote grows. Do you think that Donald Trump has helped or hurt that effort?
Look, we'll wait and see, but I can tell you what we've done as far as the Growth and Opportunity Report. We put in millions of dollars.
That's the RNC effort.
That's right. We put millions of dollars in Black and Hispanic engagement. We didn't just show up 6 months ago. We've been on the ground in Puerto Rican communities in Orlando, Cuban communities in Miami, and Hispanic communities in Nevada. We have been there for 4 years talking about our party and what we believe in. And you know what? Jobs, the economy, choice in where you want to go to school, SBA loans for small business owners. That's what people care about.
So if the RNC did its work, if Donald Trump doesn't turn out Latino voters, it's his fault.
Our job, well, no. First of all, we need to give him credit for all of his attempts. I mean, he's the one going into Little Haiti in Miami. We did a roundtable in Puerto Rican communities in Orlando. He went up to Detroit. He went to Cleveland. He's doing well in Black communities. So he has been talking about school choice and money for small business owners and getting people back to work. Those issues appeal to Hispanic and black voters, and they appeal to white voters. They appeal to all of us as Americans.
Do you feel there have been times at this race when Donald Trump has called out the establishment? He's even along this long-winding.
We've had our own arguments.
Do
that.
you worry if things don't turn out his way on Tuesday that after all the work you've done with him, that he might turn around and blame you?
Oh, I don't listen. But politics. I don't really care. What I care about is winning. I care about keeping the House and the Senate and winning the White House. And post Tuesday, I'm not worried about that. I think we're winning, and I also think that if you would have said 2 months ago, and I think most people, if they're being honest, that we'd be here today arguing over Michigan and Pennsylvania, I think people would have been shocked. And here we are, and it is a tight race, and we're going to do everything we can. We need our voters to get out and vote.
Before we leave, okay, apparently we're out of time. We'll have to save this for after
John,
the election,
thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman. Thanks so much
You
for
bet.
being in here. And we'll be back in 1 minute with what we're looking for on Election Day.